That's
Peach.
good to hear. So I know it's been
I'm cold.
about a century. Yeah, well,
Same.
that's life sometimes. Let me tell you, it's better than your apartment being 80 degrees in the end of October. Because that's what mine is.
How?
I wish I had an
Because
answer
it
for
was
you.
frigging warm today. Although a cold front came in, so that's nice.
Yeah, we're fine. The warm front finally is leaving us. Because I think it finally started raining and getting rid of everything.
Yep.
But that was an awful 2 days. But that's not Pathfinder.
Nope.
What is Pathfinder is we haven't played in a century. I'm sorry we had to take a long break, but this is the way of the world.
It was a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
break.
1,000,000 years.
Okay.
Sam, didn't you realize?
3 of the party members have died of old age since we stopped playing.
Yeah, I had to
That-
I had to draft a new character, man.
One of them is Reese. Yeah, my new character's just revving up right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at this point Tomas is still fucking alive.
Probably Mika too.
But
Wolf
Where
is
we
also
last-
probably dead.
Yeah, that's
Where
why
we
I was thinking of a new character.
Yep.
Definitely dead.
where we
Oh yeah,
last
Reeves
left
actually would be the one. Sorry, Matt.
off, no problem. Where we last left off, you guys had a fun little adventure with a little hungry boy in a cave.
I
You-
I was the hungry boy. There was also gluttony.
Yeah. There's a hungry boy and then there's a hungry man. And the boy conquered the man that day and gained some neat little insight into himself. And that weird metaphor aside, you guys are back in the tower now. Well, a clown slaps a cave to death. Enjoying your night of rest before you head back to the seas and head off towards your next encounter. So, we'll pick up at the observatory. Is there anything anybody would like to do with their day off? Or their night off, rather. It's not a full 24 hours.
Well, you already know what.
Reese is gonna be drinking, trying to forget what he just saw in that cave.
And Mika will be joining him.
That is fair. I know there were a couple conversations, and I also know outside of that, there was 1 or 2 things people wanted to follow up on. So if we don't, does anybody want to do anything that night, or do we want to move to the morning where we talk battle plans for the next trip?
I hope one of them wasn't me because I don't remember if so.
No, I'll remind the parties when we get to the following morning.
I don't think Mika had anything she was gonna do in the evening. I think hers was morning.
Alright, so you all spend your evenings relaxing and unwinding in your own ways, following up with people that you felt the need to talk to. And after a nice bit of rest on solid ground, you wake up and grab a bite to eat. Is there anything you would like to do before you guys reconvene in the observatory room to discuss your next plans?
Mika would stop by Reese's room in the morning and poke him about religion books.
I do love that Reese is gradually becoming the party's library.
Just, you have any stories, maybe? Storybooks about the just general god fuckery, I guess.
Reese will blink blearily at Mika and then look at his books and start looking through them. He's like, maybe. Every time he finds a book on religion, he's just gonna blindly hand it to Mika. Probably not as detailed as an actual library.
I don't need a whole compile info. I just a little bit about some of the. I don't know. I just want to know about other fuckery these people have gotten up to in the past. That's all.
Hmm.
In total, you find 3 books, 2 medium-length ones and 1 short one on stories about divinity and gods.
That is perfect.
Have you checked with Lana?
Not yet.
I feel like she's the super religious one of the group.
I'm just looking for general. We're gonna be probably on a boat for a while, so something to pass the time
Hey,
with.
Mika,
I
please don't vomit on my books.
I promise you, I will treat them as well as I treat my own hammer.
Okay, I'll accept that.
You probably ought to get up soon, though. I have a feeling we need to get. Everyone else is going to be wanting to get a move on.
So Mika's gonna hit. He's gonna hit some enemies with Reese's books. Is what you're saying?
None of them are that thick.
I mean, she could use them to stop wounds too.
I mean, if you want to get technical.
Oh yeah.
No,
Speaking of
Meek
which,
is good at healing.
I'm pretty sure I could find a better improvisation, but hey.
yeah. Speaking of which, that morning Lana's gonna pop by Tomas's door and make sure that nothing happened to that book.
Thanks, Lana.
Nobody
And thus
knows
did the
anything.
And thus did the mending undo the damage Tomas did. All that's left is slight blood stains, vaguely appearing on the blood demon page. That mending would not remove.
I'm pretty sure though. I'm pretty sure those were there before.
Yeah.
Every other page in the book is
Tomas,
spotless.
were those there before?
Yes.
Just for dramatic effect for the blood demon?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
sure?
go with that.
'Cause that's a little.
We will go with that.
Did you curse Nicandras's book?
You probably cursed it, but you know it's fine, right? Yeah. Thanks, Lana.
You're welcome.
Alright. Any other shenanigans before we go to the debrief room? Or the brief room, rather.
I think as everyone, actually no, Lynn will ask to attempt that after the meeting.
Right. Right. Alright. So, once again, you guys are called up to the observatory room. As you guys are heading up there, Reeves, you remember from the night before that Lynn mentioned it might be a good idea to run the Red Sun information by Cornelius to see if he could dig anything up on it.
Okay. I guess while they're waiting for things to start, he'll approach Cornelius and explain that situation to him.
How curious. You're saying that you finally cracked the static at least a bit on yourself. No one else can hear that but you and us.
Correct. As well as some other things. It's a little annoying.
Oh, you don't know the half of it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I don't even know a tenth of it.
Well, perhaps one day we'll have the great pleasure of making you understand the full length of everything that we haven't been able to tell you, but for the time being, that is interesting information to go off of. Never heard of a phenomenon like that happening before, but if it's ever been written down, I'll see if I can find it.
Awesome. Thanks, Cornelius.
It's literally the only thing I can do, my boy.
Love you, Cornelius.
Mm-hmm. So, after a bit of conversation, we move to the round table once everybody has arrived. And where is the last member? There she is. Good work with your quick resolution of the last one. With that, it looks like we're halfway through the major disturbances, as expected. Once you cleared up the situation there, the interference died down for the most part, but there was another actor, as we're now aware, in the region, so we still don't have perfect readings on that area for the time being. Nonetheless, I don't think we need to worry too much about that island for the time being, without any other major population centers there and no more demonic readings. I'd say it's going to be safe for some time. But I believe your next plan was heading over to Clearhaven, was that correct?
I'd appreciate that.
It seemed like the.
Well, as long as you're all in agreement, I'm sure the good captain will be happy to take you there when he picks you up this morning. And on that note, I believe some of the others here might have some good news for you. Seki nods to her, and she moves the display, zooming in closer on the Clearhaven Island. I pulled in the map, but didn't create a page because I'm really good at DMing.
Mood.
She taps on the globe because it's taking a while to load.
What's wrong with this thing?
It's a hell of an island.
I appreciate that the island has the word hell in it.
Uh huh.
That's not the name of the island, that's just the name of the island on the image I found. Don't worry about that.
Maps are hard.
Maps
It's
are
not
fucking
foreshadowing.
Yep, I'm like 80% sure.
Well,
There we go. So, this is our latest map on the Clearhaven region. As you can see, most of the island is heavily populated. It's not a large place, and most of it has been converted for use by the other 4 nations in the region as the central, neutral place to discuss diplomatic matters. And Seki steps forward. Yes. Well, getting onto the island, I appreciate that you want to head there and resolve things, but I assure you things might not be as straightforward as you strolling aboard and nobody giving you an eye about things. Traffic to and from there is pretty heavily regulated. And considering the way you are approaching, there's only 2 or 3 real options you have. The most straightforward approach, and the one that would result in the least difficulty moving forward as long as there aren't any initial upfront problems, is you could probably have the captain bring you to the docks drop you off as if you were diplomatic passengers with the proper credentials, assuming that the credentials we have are still accurate. Either you'll be arrested immediately upon your arrival, or you'll be able to go free throughout the city as if any other traveler in the region. We tried to secure the most recent documents we could acquire and make some reference material out of it, but we can't be sure that they haven't come up with a new identification on these documents that we were unable to replicate. The other option, if you fancy yourselves masters of espionage, is you might be able to sneak onto the island under the cover of night. The area is pretty heavily patrolled, but considering the forces required to keep peace on the mainland, they won't be at full capacity. There will be gaps in the defenses you might be able to exploit to sneak around. It will be more difficult moving about the place freely, but you might not encounter any problems at the gate. If you're lucky, they might not even know you're there. And, of course, failing either of those, and an option that no one here would quite recommend, as much as the captain might be the daring type, a frontal, hostile arrival at the island probably would not go over well, and even as skilled as you are as combatants. The security forces there are quite heavy, and I imagine that even more so considering the arrangements currently in place there. If the leaders of the nations are there, the guards with them will be of quite high caliber. I doubt you'll be able to get through all of them, nor would you probably want to, considering the situation.
If they're not there now, they're on their way.
Yes.
We're looking for another mucking great big disturbance, are we? With all these diplomats and whatnot gonna be there?
I'd prefer if we didn't go forward with a course of violence, considering who's going to be there.
No, it's probably a terrible idea, but...
It's not like that was ever going to be seriously considered, right? I mean, come on.
There's too many people there. I don't think that'd be a good plan at all.
And they're innocent people. It doesn't matter.
One I expected, but an option I wanted to make sure nobody brought up later on. It's better to get these things out of the way early so we can understand that it isn't an option. So the matter still comes down to, are you willing to try to sneak your way onto the island? Or test your luck and charm?
Well, if we did half and half.
Sneak half of you aboard and the other half walk in through the gates.
Yeah, the charming ones charm, the sneaky ones sneak.
I may be able to grease the wheels if the papers fail.
In theory, that's possible, but do be aware for anyone going the route of sneaking aboard without documentation. The island is patrolled at least somewhat regularly. If the guards don't recognize you, they might stop you and ask for identification, which could cause a problem if you do not have it.
Well, if even the sneaky people have documentation, I don't know how close they'd be looking once we're actually in the city. It's just getting past the gate, right?
One would hope, but whatever guards we had originally placed there have likely been replaced by Eber. And considering the status of them, at least the Bressian forces on the island might be on lookout for certain individuals. It's hard to say, though. We don't have contact directly with the island anymore. Whatever sources we had, they are no longer in contact with us.
Huh. Well, I'll go with whatever idea you all think is good, because I am neither sneaky nor charming, so it is on you.
You can be the bodyguard for the charming diplomat, right?
I think you're pretty charming, Mika.
For a certain value of charming, maybe, but not very helpful here. Though I do appreciate the compliment, I think.
If necessary, I can do a lot of the talking.
Yes. Based on past experiences, they won't be interviewing each and every person walking through the gate as long as at least one member of the party is willing to discuss matters with them. It should be fine for the most part. Just be calm and quick if they ask anybody else in the group any questions, and things should be fine. Unless they're looking for you, any quick answer with a steady voice should be more than enough for them. As for where the disturbance would be lying, that is the more difficult problem. It might be a little easier for you to track down once you're there, but if things are still going about their daily business there, there's not exactly many places to hide in Clearhaven. At least not somewhere that one of the creatures of that caliber could hide so plain in sight without any issues.
Question on that regard. How
Yes.
how has this sin managed to stay where it is for so long, given the force occupying said city?
That's what I'd like to know.
What if it's in disguise too?
I was gonna say, possibly
Well-
well hidden.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
Particularly charming.
Don't say that.
I don't know if we're able to keep a tab on these things. I can't imagine Eber and the other ones wouldn't be able to at least sense them.
Perhaps to an extent, but it is difficult to say exactly how aware they are of the situation. They might have forces on the island looking for it. How quickly and competently they'll be able to track it down and deal with it is an entirely another matter.
Yeah, fair.
And if normal people are going about their business on the island enough to host whatever event they're discussing, I imagine it isn't causing any sort of catastrophic destruction we could trace back like we did in the Elven lands, or even in central Brescia.
Well, who's been on the island this whole time? The disturbance hasn't been traveling away from it, has it? It's been here, there that whole time?
Since we turned on the tracking, it doesn't look like it's moved at all.
So that narrows it down a bit. I mean, it can't be with any of the people who are coming in. So if we know who's been there this whole time, then we know where to look.
Perhaps there are some residents of the island that remain there, if not permanently, then for months or years at a time, depending on their duties.
So we start
It
there.
might be worth checking around with them, and if they all check out, perhaps after you've been there for a while, some things might start to point you in directions. Unfortunately, I don't think this one is going to be as simple as poking around in caves until you find the monster this time.
I don't see it residing there innocently. We can also check and see if anybody's disappeared or been acting suspiciously lately.
Yes, it's always worth looking into things. If you don't know, we don't know where it is now. Gathering what information you can without drawing excess attention to yourself is probably the best way to move forward.
Well, hold on.
And maybe, hopefully, we can get this resolved before everybody arrives for what's going on.
Indeed, or at least resolve the worst of it before any harm comes of it, should they arrive before it.
What is going on anyway? Why are so many people tracking up to the island?
I'm trying to remember from what Matt sent me. Did the letter that Reese received say specifically what was going on?
Just that it was a diplomatic gathering of the nations, and that your family was being brought there as a performance during the negotiations.
Reese will just relay that.
As a performance.
Yeah.
Alright,
These sorts of things are a big how to do.
Indeed they are.
I never paid any attention to most of the whole stuff that went on, so I don't know what's involved with any of this, but I mean, can we try to slip in through the gate as other performers, maybe?
Potentially, but the permits we would be providing you are likely very specific in their line of work. If you were a performer, you'd likely be expected to reside within a specific portion of the island with limited mobility throughout the week. Be easier to get you in as smaller diplomats or merchants.
I say we just go with whatever credentials they have prepared for us. And if shit goes south and we're arrested, well, I have means of getting us out.
I have 3 days to get you guys into acting shape. I've worked on tighter deadlines.
Hi, I was part of a circus.
I pretended to be somebody I wasn't for like 100.
I'm not talking about you two.
Why are you looking at me?
Wolf stares into the distance.
Mika knows why he's getting looked at.
I was suggesting we could help.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Let's go look at Reeves. He's like, we're gonna be great acting teachers, man.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, makers help me.
Most
And
of the
we
documents...
might-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Most of the documents we have are mostly prepared, but if you have a specific guise you would like to be going under, let me know so I can finalize it to line up with your story.
Right. I probably don't want to be looking like myself when we're there.
Can I be the scrap baron?
No, Reeves.
Unfortunately, there is no barony of scrap that is recognized by any of the nations.
That's bunk.
Don't worry, Reeves. When my city gets back up and running, you can be the Baron of Scrap.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we'll probably have to. Reese kind of eyes Mika, eyes Lana, eyes Wolf, eyes Reeves. We might have to make some adjustments to your appearances. He's like, don't worry, I've got magic for that.
We
Must laugh a little. See that, guys? He didn't look at me. My boyfriend thinks I'm hot.
That's not what I meant. You just look like you're made from noble blood.
Shit, I'll take that too.
I am a baron, thank you.
He is.
No, you're not.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, this is gonna be a long week, isn't it?
Maybe we'll make it official as soon as possible.
You see the bird let out a sigh.
He also sighs. He's like, gonna need some clothing, some makeup, and some magic.
Do be aware that even if you do manage to find a way to unapprehend yourselves, if they find that the prisoners that they captured are missing, the island will go on to lockdown, and that will make things exceedingly difficult for you. So do be prepared for that scenario.
Right.
Hmm.
Well,
Oh, I got no better ideas, so. I don't suppose Cornelius, there's been any word from Amove yet? I know we weren't gone for very long on the island, but.
No, I haven't checked in with her since you left. I believe our next date was tomorrow. If there's anything of particular concern, we'll send a notice out to you. Otherwise, we'll have a nice long discussion about any updates she has next time you return.
Alright.
do we know what we're expecting here? I'm guessing not.
Shitloads of shiny silver boys.
Yes, I would expect contingents of guards from all of the nations convening there. So at the very least, Elven and Brescian. The Heartlands will likely also show up, but considering the welcome that was received up until my departure in the Dwarven lands, if anybody shows up, it'll be minimal. As for any of our other more concerning guests, we haven't had sight of them for some time, so I can't say for certain if any of them would be there or not.
Well, let's just be optimistic and hope he's not there, I guess.
Yes,
we know
that
how
would be for the best.
Because we all remember how his last diplomatic meeting went, and I'd prefer that not happen.
Right.
Well, guess if we got no other ideas, we got a whole week to figure it out on the boat.
About 3 days.
Oh, really? I thought it was longer than that.
Well, I can definitely pick up some supplies for disguises.
Yep. If you need to stock up on anything before your departure, feel free to. We've made what preparations we can for your departure. Alright. So does anybody else have any questions before we head off on the fun boat of adventure?
As the meeting is winding down, Reeves is going to pipe up and say, I would like to try something with with the rest of you.
Does it involve scrap?
No. Well, it can. No, it
No.
can't. And he's gonna look over at Lynn, if she's there.
Yep.
It's like, all right, let's do the thing.
All right. So, and hear me out. Know how Reeves doesn't hear the buzzing sometimes anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to explain, but I locked-picked his brain, and I'm pretty sure that's what did it.
Dude, I asked Reeves to try and he wouldn't do it. Let's go.
That's probably a good idea that he didn't do it yet, but I am down to give it a shot if you're up for it.
Let's go.
Is this gonna cause some sort of damage or mark or pain?
What are you talking about? And he like playfully twitches.
None that I'm aware of.
Reeves just staring at Reeves.
Look at that acting, it was fucking great.
It's okay. It's okay. We talked about this yesterday. It should be okay. I think.
Mika twitched pretty hard when Reeves talked like that.
I guess.
Well, he hasn't done that until now, so and she just kind of squints at him.
I just pull your legs.
Yeah. Well, unless you want me to do this standing on my tiptoes, get down.
Come on, we'll sit down on the ground.
He's so hyped for this.
He's so fucking hyped.
She reaches over her shoulder like a doctor asking for a scalpel.
Oh, I was like, and Reeves is just like, oh, right. And he like pulls skeleton key out of his stomach and hands it to her.
Really grossed out that came from your stomach.
Oh, don't be
same?
too grossed out.
What
And
about
she
going by
closes
head?
one of her eyes and holds the dagger in front of Tomas's forehead for a second before jamming it into the hilt and kind of just wiggling it around for a bit.
This is fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Let's
is.
talk.
That looks
And-
horrifying.
It's
She
painless, I assure you.
She wiggles it around for a bit before frowning a little bit and pulling the blade free and going, weird, I'm not catching on anything for you.
You wanna try again?
I looked around there pretty good.
Yeah. Is my brain defective?
Reese quietly to himself is like, probably.
Wow!
Listen.
As far as I can tell, it's just can't get to any of it for you.
Try Mika.
Wait, what?
Go on, Mika.
Maybe it's just the old people. We're too old, right?
You've been voluntold.
I don't know who the fuck you're calling old pointy, but alright. Sure.
100 too, right? Or is that just me?
I haven't seen 90 yet. I don't know what you're talking about, but fine, I'll go next.
Wait. Fucking what?
Alright.
Reese from the back is just like, surprise, Tomas, you're old.
And yeah, Miko will trudge over to Lynn and just bend her head down a little bit because she's not that much taller, I don't think.
Yeah. So, Lynn will try the same trick with you, and after a moment of wiggling it around, pulls it free again and goes. Just kind of looks at the blade for a second and goes, what's going on?
It's Reebs' thingy, maybe it only works on Reebs?
Oh no, it's still my dagger. I'm just loaning it to him.
Well, maybe it's because it's yours and he's using it as why.
I'll go. Reese will plunk down in front of her.
Third time's a charm, and by that I mean nothing happens again.
Reese is gonna rub his forehead.
Lynn, why'd you get my hopes up like that, man?
Because it worked on Reeves.
It did work on me.
Maybe you have to be sub 15 years old.
That'd be a weirdly specific and really annoying circumstance.
Reeves,
Maybe
say
it
the
only
funny
works
word.
on goblins.
That makes more sense.
Maybe. Kind of working on theoretical lockpicking here, so there's no real answers. God, that would have been too easy. And she just flips the dagger back towards Reeves.
Reeves catches it and makes it disappear into his wrist.
That one's better.
Hmm.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Yeah, that would have been too easy, though.
Well, maybe the fact that it only worked on me is at least some information. Don't know pointing towards what, but that's a data point, maybe.
Maybe. We'll have to figure it out. If you guys run into Brianna, let me know. I need to have a long talk with her about how fucking dumb this shit is.
Yeah, you gotta join the line.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really long line.
Yeah, I
There's
have
also
some
one-
words to say to her.
There's also a line for punching. If you feel like that too.
I mean, not particularly.
No, oh, fair.
Well, no you sitting around here moping about what could and couldn't be. I think we all got work to do.
Indeed.
Right. If I can look at those documents for everybody, I can probably get some clothing for everybody to at least make some sort of convincing disguise.
Seki will pull out the documents on a nearby desk and go over them with you.
Okay.
As he said before, most of the official parts of the document are written up. The only things remaining are the names of the people arriving and their reasons for staying in the area. So if you have a specific cover story you want to go with, he could help work with you on that to make it something that would be allowed on the island. He explains the most common ones are low-ranking nobility, if you feel like you could pull that off, or high-class merchants visiting the island during particularly eventful goings-on to sell their wares when the other nobles are in town.
Reese has ideas for various members of the party.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to go with?
I wanna hear this shit, man.
You want details? Don't put me on the spot like that. I haven't had time to prep this.
Well, improv.
We can say that you discussed your ideas with Seki and he wrote them down on the paper officially for you. And
Thumbs up.
I'll give you a little bit of time to think about that as we prep it for the
Oh.
actual purpose.
You got 2 minutes, man.
If anybody has a particular thing they would like to do to save it
Please
from the
help
torment
me.
of their character.
If you're able to disguise me as a halfling or something,
Possibly.
then
I don't have veil is the problem. And disguise self only lasts an hour, so everything that Reese would be doing would have to be done with, physical and practical means.
Okay, well, Goblin merchant then?
Yeah, I was thinking possibly merchant for Mika, Wolf, Lana, and Reeves.
They could also be bodyguards for merchants or their
Wolf
various cohorts.
Wolf and Mika would be great as bodyguards
Yes, they would.
because they look
Wolf
the part.
has training as a bodyguard too.
I could
And then
try and sell swords is about the only thing I could talk about long enough.
that works. Blacksmithing works. And I'm sure Lana has a farm background, right?
You sure do.
So could be selling, you know, grain.
I
Food.
could. Are they religious? I could go as a missionary.
There are quite a few varying religions on the island. Occasionally, they would see missionaries in the region.
That works too.
Can I
long
be
as you're
Tomas's
on
attendant?
Wait, my what?
Attendant.
You want to be his butler?
Sure.
Well, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Well,
And
that
Tomas
happened.
and I can be noblemen, I guess.
Yes, there's a few obscure elven towns that have lower nobility in them that would be able to attend these events, several of which may or may not have ceased to exist and were not passed along to Brescia in that time.
I'm guessing I can't just be me, lord of my city. You know.
In theory, you could. If they're looking for you, that would be problematic, though.
That's fair.
In considering we are currently hiding in a tower that teleports around the continent, I imagine they are probably looking for us.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I can change your hair color. I can change your hair length very easily. I don't think I can give you hair, Reeves, sadly.
Give me a hat. I want a hat.
We can give you a hat.
Hey.
You could have always had a hat, Reeves.
But it wouldn't be a special hat.
It'd
I'll
be
pick you
special to
out something special.
I
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's right.
I think that's pretty much all we need, right?
So if everybody is content with their personas, we can have those locked in. And if there's anything specific you want to buy for your disguise that you do not already have available, now would be the time to do so.
Lana doesn't
Shopping
care.
time!
Lana doesn't carry religious symbols on her. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Lana doesn't have like 40 symbols of Argith on her at any given point in time. She doesn't have a magical tattoo to Argith.
Gauntlets, a fucking badge.
I'm here to preach the word about doing good for your fellow man.
Yeah, basically.
Like, oh god, one of these.
So I'm sure Lana's fine.
Yeah.
Lana falls into her persona surprisingly easy once you get her preaching about defending the weak.
I feel like Lana will start practicing and Tomas's eyes will stare at her and start glazing over.
Can I use your
That
hat,
means I'm
sir?
doing it right.
Reese kind of looks around and he's like, we should probably still change your hair and fur color. Can Reese do that? Can Reese change fur color?
It's technically hair.
That's fair.
It's body hair, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
dunk her in like a vat?
No, Reese has a cantrip that lets him change hair length, color, and style.
Hmm.
That's how he does his hair differently every time you see him.
Can she is there anything Reese can do for skin tone?
Makeup?
Oh, okay, that's probably a bit much.
No. I mean, it's just, it would stay.
It would be a lot of makeup though.
Yeah. She could wear long sleeves though, so that then it'd just be her neck and face.
Mayhap.
Up to you. Hair color change and maybe him doing her makeup might be enough.
Yeah, just something to make her a little paler so that she stands out less, because, you know.
A little bit paler, maybe put some eyeliner on, you know.
Yeah.
Eye makeup and stuff like that has surprising effects. Reese like, well, when we're set to arrive, I'll get to work on everybody. I'm guessing you already have blacksmith clothing, Mika?
I've been using it, so yeah, I do.
Alright. I still will probably have to change your hair or something.
Okay. I mean, I've got stuff in my I've got stuff I can add to it if that's what you need.
Well, I can change the color for you magically and change it back once we're back.
Oh, alright.
If it, so long as that's not offensive or anything.
No, you're not
Is
taking the beard, are you?
Why would I take the beard?
Oh. That's the right answer.
Oh, okay. Reese slowly looks at Wolf and frowns.
We gotta do something about this.
Welcome back to Jackass. Today we're gonna cut Mika's hair and beard.
Uh-huh, and see how many people get concussions out of that.
That's how Wolf lost 3 teeth.
Exactly.
Reese will just probably change her hairstyle and hair color.
That's fine.
Reese is like, you're not immune, Wolf.
How are you gonna make me?
I'm just
Give
gonna
him a
make you look slightly not yourself.
What are you gonna do?
Give him a beard.
I can do that.
And a mustache.
Yeah, we can give you some scruff.
Give him a
Hard
mullet.
cut to Wolf and a very sad face with a terrible mustache and beard.
Who
Don't
do you
forget-
think Reese
Wow.
is?
Reese is
Don't
gonna
f-
make him look like a bear.
Don't forget, Wolf also has full plate, including a helmet, for an organization that works under Brescia.
Yeah.
Fair.
He
If he's
probably-
got a helmet, then Reese doesn't have to change anything.
I mean, but what if he has to take
But
the
it's all
helmet off?
Brescian, though.
Well,
That's
a good
fair.
thing, right?
Don't
If
I
he has,
technically still have? Oh wait, or did I use my previous armor?
if Reese was to
We
do
traded it
anything,
in.
he'd just turn Wolf's hair black and give him like a Geralt
Yeah.
like mustache and beard.
Changing his like haircut, his hairstyle and facial hair underneath the helmet should be enough for the most part.
Yeah, that's
I'm just
most
saying
of
you
what.
don't have to hide the edgelord knight armor.
No, Reese wasn't going to do that because if he's posing as a bodyguard, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reese isn't gonna like super change people, except for Reeves. Reeves, he's gonna
Thank
stare
you.
at and be like,
Reese just
I
gives
the
a
Hell Knight for this armor.
Reese just gives a big goblin grin, right back at you.
Well, I suppose elf and halfling children do exist.
Wait,
what?
what? That's not my child, it's my butler.
Papa.
I was talking about the pointy ears, Tomas. Can you calm down?
But
Can't do
Reeves,
me a fright like that.
Reeves goes, Papa,
No.
and hugs his leg.
That's terrifying.
Been a while since someone called me that.
I have
It's been a
regrets.
while, Tomas.
In what context?
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, so what were you saying, Reese?
Mika just ping pong eyeballs both of them.
Yes. So we may just have to make your skin paler, maybe, and get you some more halfling-esque clothes, maybe, and a hat for you to tuck your ears into.
I
Sounds
will
good to me.
say, Wolf, I would recommend not using the line that you killed an official knight under the Order of Brescia. That is a criminal offense and one that typically results in heavy fines or death.
It's fine. Reese will find a way to work his magic. It'll be fine.
Yikes.
Alright. So is anybody buying anything specific?
Reeves will throw out some ideas, all of which are clearly jokes, because he's suggesting very mismatched colors.
Reese is gonna find him some very plain clothing and see if he can find some sort of hat that would pass for someone like a somewhat nice hat, but definitely someone who's not actually a noble that would cover his ears.
You could always get him something like a coif or a head wrap or something of that vein.
Yeah, Reese will do something like that. He won't make it look purposely bad, but his options are few.
Yeah, something coif-like isn't terribly uncommon in Brescia. So it should fit in relatively fine.
Reese is going to hand them all to Reeves and be like, "This is what you're going to be wearing. I am so sorry."
1 moment. And he goes and gets changed.
You don't have to change now. We haven't even set sail.
I want to try it on.
He's getting in character.
Mika will just basically show Reese her stash in her bag of various beads and trinkets and crap that she changes out of her hair regularly.
Reese is like, "Oh, I can work with this." And Reese will show her his bag of beads and stuff. Yeah, I can work with this.
Not sure why I haven't asked if you had any of that before, but this will be fun.
Reese just grins. Yeah, it will. This is actually kind of vaguely a dream for Reese because he gets to give everyone a makeover.
At least he's not working from scratch with Mika. She changes her braids and beads out on a regular basis.
Oh yeah.
It's the acting that'll be the hard part.
Yeah. Reese is like, "Well, I'll get to work on you guys the morning that we're set to arrive. Until then, I guess. Get into character."
Wait, am I Tomas's kid or butler?
Butler.
Can I get your hat, sir?
Let's go tap at his head where there's no hat. Then pretend to pull one off and hand it to Reeves.
Meanwhile, Reese is actually going to grab Tomas and be like, "I hate to say it, dear, but your wardrobe, if you're going to be a nobleman, needs adjusting." And drag him off.
No, I know. God, fuck, not again.
So Reese will buy people stuff that they need for their outfits. So Reeves and Tomas, I think, are getting new outfits altogether.
I don't think Mika needs anything, but got blacksmith clothes and doodads for hair, so.
I don't think Lana needs anything, right?
Before?
To be a missionary.
Disguises?
Probably not. She would probably just get like a robe to go over what she usually wears, but that'd be like the extent of it.
Wolf
'Cause,
doesn't need
like-
anything for his.
She's, you know, Argith, so she can probably just go as is as a missionary, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I do already have a set of fancy clothes.
Oh, you do? Never mind then. Reese is not taking him shopping. Didn't you just dodge a bullet?
Right.
Do they know what kind of temperature they're going into?
It will be. It'll probably be chilly out because it's early. It's like March.
Reese is gonna get Tomas a coat.
Yeah.
They get there after an hour. Tomas is like, God, why is it so hot?
Oh, I forgot he had that.
Yeah. It's New England spring, so it can be a bit nippy.
Suddenly
And
glad
it's
that
windy.
Reese has that really fancy fur-lined winter coat. He can use that as part of his stuff because he doesn't have fancy clothes, but he will pick some up. How much is a set of fancy clothing?
It's not terribly expensive. Equip- Clothing. Are we talking good-looking clothing or nobility level clothing?
Nobility level clothing.
Nobility level clothing is 55 gold.
55 gold! That's fine.
Hot
It gives
damn.
you a +1 to make an impression and pretend to be other nobility in high class.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's worth it.
Cloves maketh the man.
Alright, Reese will get some nobility clothing. Just add that to his ever-growing wardrobe.
Yep, list them as high fashion, fine clothing.
You sure you don't want new clothes, Tomas?
It says I have fancy clothes, but
They're probably fine clothes.
okay. So they would have that same bonus?
No.
No. Okay. What's the thing that just got?
You have nobility clothing. Reese just picked up fashionable nobility clothing.
I don't fucking want fashionable nobility clothing.
I know. You're a hobo.
Listen, I already have the whole nobility lore, heraldry lore in my back pocket. I'm fine.
Just somebody starts questioning Tomas, he just looks down at the crest on their armor and is like, man, your lord's a bitch. Fuck that guy.
I'll look at the crest and be like, so do you want to tell your lord how you've treated me after I've spent so many summers at his private estate?
Bitch.
And then they leave and like, wow, Tomas, you know. I have no idea what one that was. I bluffed. Let's leave.
Yeah, gotta go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, all their private estates look exactly the fucking same. They build them into fucking trees. Boring as shit.
Reese just quietly in the background. I'd love to be in a treehouse right now instead of here.
He looks at Reese, he's like, my house is a little fucking mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tomas.
Okay, Tomas.
Okay, come on.
Reese just quietly to himself. Man, can Tomas just fucking chill for 5 minutes?
No.
We know the answer.
He really
Yeah.
can't.
Anyways, shopping complete for me. I don't know if anybody else wants to buy anything.
Reeves just sort of left the clothes buying to Reese.
Yeah, so Reese bought servant's clothing for Reeves. How much would that have been?
clothing is normal clothes or silver.
Cool. That's so. The price disparity
Ration, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome to
is
the
very
nobility, man.
Reese.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, this will work for Reeves, and Reese like looks at himself and he's like,
Not
Damn,
for
I haven't
me.
treated myself in a while. Well, I'm about to go sit through some trauma. I need to look good at least.
Meanwhile, Reeves from the from the fitting room. Are you sure about this?
I don't
seems
think it
a-
has enough holes in it.
Yeah, it seems a little too rich for a servant.
Reese is like, it's fine, Reeves.
Like, I don't think the Lord would bring along a tattered servant. That wouldn't give a good impression.
I mean, some would.
Some would, but
Most wouldn't.
Yes, most nobility tend to bring along servants rather than beggars.
I'm also gonna have to teach you some things.
Can I take it? Can I take your hat, sir?
Okay, I need to be wearing a hat for you to ask me that, Reeves. Try
Well-
coat instead.
Can I take your coat, sir?
Tomas will shrug off his coat and hand it out to him.
He reaches up for it and it kind of flops on it kind of flops on his head.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on this. Yeah,
Anyway.
we'll figure it out.
Anybody else need anything not clothing related?
not
No.
that I can think of, although... Well, if I don't have to actually bring any of my merchandise as a merchant, then I'm good.
Usually these types of ordeals are too short-lived for that type of thing. You never know the exacting tastes of the person there. Often, merchants of particular qualities will bring along an example piece or two of the quality of their work and take commissions at these events.
That I can come up with, alright.
Alright.
Oh god, do we have to come up with names too? Or are the names filled in for us?
I can randomly generate 6 names if you want OSEC to come up with names for you.
Sure.
Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. So. Reese is now Elred.
Elrid? Okay.
Here's your full name, my liege.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Is
I imagine Osek just saying that.
How's that last name pronounced? Ilris?
Alris.
Alaris.
Ilris.
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 It's your last name. You can pronounce it however you want.
Cool. She's like, okay. I'm gonna pronounce it differently for every single person I meet.
does he have a brother named Alonso that he travels the world with?
No, unfortunately. He died in the war.
He
Oh, no.
died in the war.
Here we go, Tomas.
I'll take it.
Baron. That's a pretty name.
Is the young servant a goblin or a halfling?
I think we were going with a halfling.
Alright. Oh god.
Oh no!
Baldric underfoot!
Awesome.
At one point, when they need a distraction, like, Reem should just get too close to Tomas, and Tomas is yelling about how he's the most pain-in-the-ass servant who's always underfoot.
Yeah.
That is my name, sir.
That is my name, sir.
That's not what I meant!
Oh my god.
Alright, Mika.
I can come up with my
Holy
own.
dwarven names.
I can come up with my own. It's fine.
No, we all.
No, we gotta
No.
keep going. Because Chris is
You're
like,
gonna
like,
have to
please no.
come up with a nickname, Mika.
What?
Brothergith Forge Granite.
Protrargith Forge Granite?
Yep.
Protrargith?
I mean, you could just call me bro, but which could be hilarious.
Bro! Yo! Yes! Yo, bro!
Please.
Yes.
Just say your name and be like, I go by bro.
I am good with this. I will.
Jesus Christ.
Bro Porgy!
This is becoming the best mess ever.
Oh my god.
I can't wait to hear
bro.
wolves.
Alright, let's see. Wolf. What's a good one for wolf? Men. No, I'm not naming wolf men. What the fuck?
Young men.
Young man.
Here we go. Here's a good
Steady,
one.
young
We're
men.
keeping in tone here.
Throgdot.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we just call him Dot.
He doesn't like it. That's why it's funny.
Trogdor.
Oh god.
Nathan's sad.
Perfect.
You okay, Nathan?
What is that name?
It's your name.
I am Frogdorf.
So,
Dot.
Don't
Dottie.
call me Dot, or I'll make you Dot.
Reese is like,
I'm not sure the Hell Knights would
Okay.
have let you in like that, but
Do you guys imagine if I talked like that this entire campaign? I don't think I could keep up with it.
I don't think I could keep a straight face through it.
it'd be so bad. It'd be funny though. Last but not least.
Alright, we have two options here, Kevin.
Alright.
Do you want an anime-ass cat girl name, or do you want me to look up the Tabaxi name?
Do I even need to give you an answer to that, Matt? Is that even a question?
Why did some of these turn into Eldritch Abomination names? That's not anime. This isn't the one I'm actually giving you. Look at this nonsense.
duh.
What is
Fuck
that?
up.
Phosiaoxus.
They go by Fox.
Faulkner!
What do the fox say?
This is a fun game. I'm enjoying it.
Here we go. Nice and simple, just like Lana.
Asa!
Aw.
Cute. I like how we went from serious to meme to back to serious.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Dot.
Alright, now everybody has their fun fake names.
Everybody make note of that so you don't forget it.
I am Baldric Underfoot.
May I take your coat, sir? Not other people.
Oh my god.
He's new.
I have been with my lord for at least 2 summers.
You're actually really good at doing that voice. It kind of scares me.
They're halfling summers, so you have to understand they're half as long as the rest of ours.
Oh no.
Much like supper, they count each summer twice.
God.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Okay, ideas.
I'm not gonna try to change my voice for this because it's not gonna go well.
Matt over here like, this is the Reese Payne train. Me over here, let's make this memes.
Memes will make me forget the pain. Alright. So is everybody ready for a fun little adventure?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's get on the boat.
Alright. So, Brianna bamps the tower back into existence.
You mean
on
Nara?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Nara
We
teleports
broke
the
Matt.
tower back onto the shoreline after scanning to make sure that the clown wasn't anywhere near it, and deposits you guys a couple 100 feet away from where the boat is waiting to pick you up, and tells you to call her when you're ready for retrieval from Clearhaven.
Will do.
And just like that, the tower is gone, and you hastily make your way to the boat just in case there happens to be a clown waiting for you in the tree line.
Yeah, let's go. Let's. Yep.
Hop, hop, hop,
Time
hop.
to leave. Time to leave.
Yep. So, you all join back up with Captain Hastings, and unless anybody has anything particular they wish to discuss with him, we can start our departure, and in 3 days, you will arrive outside of the Clearhaven coast in the late afternoon.
Hoist anchor and unfurl the sails. Let's go.
Oh boy.
That we can do. And the captain gestures for his men. We go through the fun adventure of you guys diving into the ocean with a ship way too large to perform a maneuver like that, and then it's clear sailing until you get there.
Okay, hopefully, yeah. I will try very hard not to throw up all over Reese's books.
Yeah, please don't.
You've probably gotten used to it by now.
Considering how well the last voyages have gone, 50-50.
Yeah. If you want, you can roll for it.
It's actually kind of tempting.
Oh no.
No, I'm not gonna roll for it.
It's fine. Reese doesn't eat those books anyways.
Not happy, but not massively nauseous.
Yeah. It's like reading while driving. Occasionally you have to stop and let your brain recenter itself, but
Yeah.
for the most part you're able to make some progress, even if it's not the most comfortable. So, while you guys are on this journey, let's take a quick 10-minute break to run to the bathroom and restock, and we will get started at 10:05 Eastern.
Okay.
Pause
Boy.
the recording here.